Hi, this is Cole Smithy and your guide to what to see and what to avoid at the movies this week. Mafia movies have changed since Francis Ford Coppola's Hollywood epic Godfather trilogy. Matteo Garone's brilliant 2008 gangster picture Gomorrah was a take-no-prisoners look at how the mob in southern Italy abuses and enslaves its citizens, corrupts its culture, and poaches its natural resources. Now Francesco Munzi is taking a more personal approach via Gioacchino Caraco's novel about a decades-old rift reopened between rival 'Ndrangheta mafia families in Calabria. As the world's most influential criminal organization and its most lucrative, it brings in $72 billion annually, the 'Ndrangheta mafia far outweighs the more widely known Sicilian Cosa Nostra mafia that has folded into the 'Ndrangheta. The Baraccas and Carboni families are connected by the murder of a Carboni padrone by the Baraccas several generations earlier in the bucolic region of Africo Vecchio. Teenager Leo Carboni, played by Giuseppe Fumo, chafes under the yoke of his sheepherder father Luciano, played by Fabrizio Faracane. He longs to join the family business with his uncle Luigi, played by Marco Leonardi, in Milan. Leo sows a few wild oats by shooting up a local bar before leaving for Milan to seal his plan, hopefully with his Uncle Luigi's blessings. Little does the tough-minded Leo realize the imminent consequences that his thoughtless actions against the local club will have on his family's relations with the Baraccas clan. Leo's ember of hostility will soon engulf his family. The brilliance of Black Souls lies in its minimalist approach to elucidate the mafia mindset of intimidation and long-held grudges. This seemingly low-key picture provides a historical context of the dichotomy between the mafia's past of traditional values and the sped-up expectations that the modern world demands. As much as Leo's sensible father attempts to distance himself from the violence of his family members, he is just as apt to reach for a gun when circumstances seem to demand it. Francesco Munzi exerts a graceful restraint in the way he constructs the story — Munzi was a co-screenwriter — and how he frames the Italian landscape with a sense of dramatic verite to reflect the impoverishment of the characters' backgrounds. Munzi exemplifies the influence of the late Francesco Rosi, whose commanding use of Italian terrain contributed to the lasting effect of such majestic films as Salvatore Giuliano. The scrupulous Munzi also matches Rossi's talent for casting naturalistic actors whose subtle performances leave indelible impressions that resonate with hostile silence. Black Souls hurts. I give this outstanding Italian mafia picture an A. My sleeper pick is Tangerines, and my guilty pleasure pick is Beyond the Reach, starring Michael Douglas. My must-have DVDs are Love Hunter from Kino Lorber, Case History's complete collection from Acorn, and Happy Valley from Music Box. Louis Malle's semi-autobiographical rendering of his wartime youth, partially spent in a private Catholic boarding school in Nazi-occupied France, haunts its audience just as the enduring experience preoccupies the filmmaker. Malle's 12-year-old alter ego Julian, played by Gaspard Manès, undergoes a devastating loss of innocence in a trial by fire tempered by the superficial security of the walled-in school in the commune of Fontainebleau, where schoolboy rituals take precedence. It is the winter of 1944. No number of scholastic, athletic, or religious routines can keep out the very real dangers of Nazi soldiers on the prowl for Jews in the nearby Paris region. Julien, a chronic bedwetter, befriends fellow newcomer Jean Benet, née Jean Kippelstein, one of 3 Jewish boys being harbored from the Nazis by brave priests at the school. Though their friendship gets off to a distrustful start, Julien gradually puts away his petty jealousies over Jean's prodigious academic and musical abilities. Still, Julien is too curious for his own good. While searching through his friend's locker, he discovers a book with Jean's evidently Jewish last name written inside the cover. Julien pelts his friend with questions. Although Julien chooses to keep the fact of Jean's Jewishness a secret, the knowledge proves too much responsibility at a crucial point in the story. MALLE'S Julien is a tragically flawed protagonist. The episodic narrative plays like a personal diary transferred to film. Details of political exposition breathe organically. In a socially mixed scene in which Julien's elegantly poised mother takes he and his brother and Jean, played by Raphael Fechteau, to lunch in a nice restaurant, she lets slip that no one is for Pétain anymore, a reference to Marshal Pétain's collaborationist regime, which nominally controlled the free zone of southeastern France. The scene crescendos when French fascists storm the dining room, demanding to see the papers of an evidently Jewish man dining alone. A Nazi commander seated at a nearby table with his troops brings the ruckus to an abrupt end when he stands and orders the fascists to leave. The drunk German officer apparently acts, in part at least, in deference to Julien's mother's beauty. Over the course of his long career, Louis Malle shed his reputation as a member of the Nouvelle Vague movement, or more accurately, outgrew its narrow categorization related to auteur theory. Sadly, he only made one more film, Milou en Mai, after Au revoir les enfants. After having moved to America in the 1970s, where he made such milestones as Pretty Baby and My Dinner with Andre, Malle returned to telling French stories. Au revoir les enfants is a heartbreakingly confessional wartime film made all the more effective by the care with which the subjective story is told. Its sense of loss is profound. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to turn your cell phones off when you're walking, driving, or watching a movie.